Have you ever had one of those days where you wake up determined to study, but somehow you end up doing everything else? You clean your desk, scroll through your phone, reorganize your notes, maybe even binge a few videos, and before you know it, the whole day is gone. You promise yourself you'll start tomorrow, but when tomorrow comes, the cycle repeats. That's procrastination. And if you've been stuck in this loop, you're not alone. Every student faces it, but today I'm going to show you how to break it once and for all, and finally start studying with focus. The first thing to understand is this: procrastination is not laziness. It's actually a survival response. Your brain doesn't like discomfort. When you look at your books, your brain sees effort, challenge, maybe even the possibility of failure. So it tricks you into choosing something easier, like watching videos or scrolling social media. That's why procrastination feels good in the moment, but terrible afterwards. Knowing this helps because it's not that you're weak, it's that your brain is wired to avoid pain. The key is learning how to work with your brain, not against it. One of the biggest myths about productivity is that you need motivation first, but the truth is the opposite. Action comes before motivation. Think about it. When was the last time you felt motivated before starting something hard? Rarely. But when you finally push yourself to begin, motivation often follows. It's like exercise. You don't feel like working out, but once you start moving, you get into it. Studying works the same way. Waiting to feel ready is a trap. If you wait for motivation, you'll be waiting forever. Instead, focus on taking the first tiny step. And that brings me to the power of starting small. The reason we procrastinate is because the task feels too big. If you tell yourself, I have to study 10 chapters today, your brain panics. But if you say, I'll just read one paragraph, suddenly it feels possible. That's why I recommend the 2-minute rule. Commit to just 2 minutes of studying. Open your book, write one sentence, review one flashcard. Once you start, momentum kicks in. 2 minutes often turns into 20, and before you know it, you're in the flow. Another method I love is the 5-minute rule. Promise yourself you'll study for 5 minutes, no more. At the end of 5 minutes, you're free to stop. But here's the secret. Most people don't stop because starting was the hardest part. The 5-minute rule removes the mental barrier that says, I don't have time or energy. You always have 5 minutes. And once you're in motion, your brain naturally wants to continue. But let's be real, sometimes starting isn't the only problem. Distractions pull us in every direction. You can't focus if your phone is buzzing every 2 seconds. One of the simplest yet most powerful changes you can make is controlling your environment. A clean desk signals your brain that it's time to focus. Turning off notifications removes temptation. Even something small, like putting your phone in another room, can double your focus time. You can't always rely on willpower, but you can design your environment to make studying easier. Another powerful trick is breaking big goals into smaller chunks. Telling yourself, I'll study for 3 hours straight is intimidating, but saying, I'll study for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break feels manageable. This is called the Pomodoro technique, and it works wonders against procrastination. Short bursts of focus followed by short breaks train your brain to see studying as less overwhelming and more achievable. Now let's talk about mindset. Many students procrastinate because they're afraid of failure. They think, what if I study hard and still fail? So instead of facing that fear, they avoid studying altogether. But here's the truth. Not studying guarantees failure. Taking action, even imperfect action, always puts you closer to success than doing nothing. Embrace the idea that progress matters more than perfection. And don't forget the power of rewards. Your brain loves rewards, so use them to your advantage. Tell yourself, if I finish this chapter, I'll watch an episode of my favorite show. Or, if I study for an hour, I'll treat myself to a snack I love. When you associate studying with positive outcomes, it becomes easier to repeat the behavior. Over time, your brain starts to crave the sense of accomplishment more than the distraction. Here's something else to remember. Energy fuels focus. Procrastination often happens when you're tired, hungry, or drained. Take care of your body. Drink water, eat balanced meals, and get enough sleep. Even a quick walk outside can refresh your mind and reduce the urge to procrastinate. Studying isn't just about books, it's about managing your physical and mental energy. And here's the final shift. Stop waiting for the perfect time.